You, I know you have been wanting to know more about La Negra, so come sit with us and have a little chat. Grab your drinks. Me and mommy, we are drinking Dr. Pepper. I got her Dr. Pepper when I went to the liquor store. So get you a snack, get you a little drinky drink, and let's get to it. All right. So La Negra is, I call her La Negra, some call her La Niña Negra. She has many names. Sometimes I call her my Queen of Darkness, Queen of the Night, because to me her energy embodies the darkness, the night. Her energy is like going to a cemetery or a graveyard on a night when the moon is not shining, on a dark moon. You know what I mean? That to me is La Negra's energy. Her energy is walking in the middle of the night with no light in sight. You know what I mean? Just pure darkness. But yet you feel protected and enveloped in that energy. I love her energy. But she is one of the most powerful aspects of Mommy. Now I will say Santa Muerte, regardless of what color she presents herself in. But from the experience of other devotees that I've heard, Santa Muerte in her black robe is one of the most intense to work with because her energy is so strong. When you know, you know. Her energy is not one to play with. And a lot of the times people fear working with, or I don't want to say working with, but they fear connecting with Mommy in her black robe because of her reputation that she has. And I want to talk about other aspects of her besides just what we normally hear. Now, going into what you normally hear, Santa Muerte in her black robe protects you from jinxes, hexes, curses, baneful workings, right? She protects you from enemies, hidden enemies. She will reveal your hidden enemies. She's really good at doing that, and you will be friggin' surprised at who your enemies are. But in the same boat of enemies, she will show you when you are being an enemy to yourself, when you are your own worst enemy, and she will push you to face that shit. Big time. I speak from experience, okay? Now, those that tend to work in dangerous jobs will have a Santa Muerte statue, a black one, in their home, in their cars, you know, on their person, because she protects those that work in dangerous jobs, dangerous fields. You know what I mean? Think about workers that work in the nightlife. You will notice that they tend to have a black Santa Muerte around them, you know, like somewhere near them, on them, whatever the case. Yes, she is known for also protecting a certain group of individuals that are in Mexico. We've heard it. We've heard all about it. You know what I mean? Mommy does not discriminate. You know what I mean? But even within the realm of that, right, I've noticed that she is really good at teaching you how to play chess, not checkers. And what I mean by that is she is strategic as fuck. Okay, she will teach you how to move in life, especially when you are dealing with opposition, when you are dealing with people that just really have it out for you, which unfortunately it happens. She will teach you how to move strategically and to have the foresight to see far ahead, to anticipate their moves and teach you how to move. She also will teach you discipline. She will get your ass in order. So if you lack discipline, Mommy in her black robe is going to be the one to get you together, to get you on a more, you know, structured path, because this path does require discipline and it does require structure. Okay, she is also really good in something that I don't see other people talk about, but she is a really good teacher of alchemy. especially really taking the pain and the just gunk in your personal life and turning it into personal power and turning it into energy that is going to fuel your path and fuel your devotion. You know what I mean? But like I said, I don't see people talk about her as a alchemy teacher as much, and that could be a whole separate video. If y'all want that, let me know and I'll make a whole separate video on that. But I just find her energy to be, like I said, incredibly strong but comforting. You know, she was the one that came to me first. She was the first color that came to me and claimed me as her child, and I've always had more of a connection to her in her black robe than her other aspects. And that's why I feel such a strong connection to her, and I understand her energy because we have a similar energy. And that's something I notice as well, is that her children, you know, children of Santa Muerte as a whole, will sometimes gravitate towards a specific color. And I've noticed those of us that gravitate towards La Negra tend to be drawn to the darker aspects of life and drawn to the darker side of life. You know, the taboo. We are curious about death. We love the nighttime, you know, usually maybe night owls or just things of that nature. Now, it's not always the case, but from my own research, that is what I have seen. Let's see, what else have I noticed that mommy has taught me on my path when it comes to her in this form? I will say just a little message that she is reminding me to share with y'all. Not everyone is your friend. That has been one of the biggest lessons that I have learned with her. And some of y'all need that message now, is not everyone is your friend. So be very mindful of who you have in your close circle and who you are calling friend. You know what I mean? Not everyone has your best interest at heart. But I will say, when you connect more with mommy in her black robe form, you tend to adopt her attributes. So I find that whenever I'm connecting with her the most, I tend to feel more drawn to doing things at night. I stay up later at night. I want to eat more darker, rich foods and also sometimes spicy foods. And I tend to be more introverted and, you know, introspective, and just wanting to really dive into myself and deal with whatever shadow things that I need to deal with and alchemize. I will say she's really good at helping you with your shadow work. You know what I mean? If you are really dealing or struggling with certain aspects in your life that you want to fix and alchemize and make work for you and not against you, as a devotee, La Negra is really great to go to for those things. But that's what I can think of right now as far as just an overall view. But I will be going deeper into certain topics, and I'll make a separate video talking about offerings and things that she enjoys, because that in itself deserves a whole video. So other things that y'all want to see when it comes to La Negra, let me know, and I will do my best to make a video about that. All right, I'll see y'all in the next one.